All right, let's hope this government shutdown, the longest in history, comes to a closure this upcoming week. It's creating a massive liquidity crisis, adds a lot of risk, and I think markets will react well. So let's hope we see that come through. Now, let's get into this. This is pretty comical. 21 shares set to go live with an XRP ETF within 20 days. So if the SEC doesn't object, and they're not gonna, then it automatically goes live. Just in case this shutdown lasts longer, this is a way to get it across the finish line. Now remember, the SEC could come back online here and just approve it instantly or near instantly, even sooner than that. But probably that's the longest we're waiting here. Now, analysts are projecting we could see $8 billion in inflows in the first 12 months. And it's not just XRP. They're estimating another 6 going into Solana and just a lot of demand out there for crypto in general. It'll be great for the whole space, but you see people out there just absolutely losing their mind. We see this person that said XRP is really the most incredible scam of the decade, almost 2x higher than Sol, 10x higher than Hype, and 13x higher than ZEC. Like, that's been the case almost since inception, outside of a few rare moments, and that's not luck, right? The market, the global intelligence collectively have placed XRP up towards the top, and not because it's a scam, because we know it has true value. Now, the first DAO in XRP Ledger is live. Your chance to participate, link down below. We're really making a push to 1,000 XAO DAO members, because once we get there, we can start submitting proposals and start getting to work. So if you want to participate in the future of the XRP Ledger, now is the time to join. Now, we saw this here. The XRP Ledger smart contract feature is now available for developers to explore and test on AlphaNet, a dedicated development network. So we're getting closer. They got a working model here. They're going to work through it. This ground implementation brings native layer 1 smart contract capability to the XRP Ledger, combining the familiar design patterns of EVM style contracts with the power of XRP Ledger native feature. So it's probably a little bit lighter than what we see on Ethereum and other full smart contract chains, but gives us, that feature set we need to be malleable, to, add on features quickly to connect to other chains. This is an important first step. We see Vet saying the following: big step forward. Smart contracts in the XRP Ledger, still early, but let me explain here. Why smart contracts for the XRP Ledger, and what does it mean for the ecosystem? Again, advanced institutional products and services on chain. There's a lot of stuff you can't do. Even when you think about controlling the minting and burning of stable coins, like you can't do that with a smart contract. That could be problematic. Predictive markets, innovative AMMs, lending protocols, no more amendments for every feature. So right now, if we want to add even the smallest thing, we got to redo the whole base infrastructure of the XRP Ledger. That's costly, and it's also dangerous. So if we have some ability where we want to add a small feature set on top, we can do that with programmability. We don't have to redesign everything from the top down here. And liquidity can be monetized and guarded by banks, institutions, and retail projects. So this is a big step forward. We're getting closer here, and this will take some testing, but this is a huge step for the XRP Ledger here. Now, we see this coming up right now, this idea, David Schwartz's favorite statement that no incentive is the best incentive. In other words, the network's not going to pay you for running infrastructure. It's not going to reimburse you. You're just going to run it because you need the utility. You have an app, you need access. You're either going to have to pay Wind or someone else, or you're going to run your own infrastructure, right? That's the idea here. And so this is the point I made about this, to throw my hat in the ring, because again, this is a hot button topic here. XRP Ledger, finally, we're receiving the upgrades we need desperately. Programmability, we have stablecoins, AMMs. Like, you've seen a lot happen in rapid succession here. Regulatory clarity, growing foundation for development here. And so if we see this Cambrian explosion of success, other people building on top of the XRP Ledger, we hear Robinhood's coming with the derivatives market. If we see DApps come online, if we see other people able to build and scale in the XRP Ledger, then we know, what? Actually, this is a great way to build. And if we are sitting here 2 years from now and it's still just the Ripple show and they're the only ones dominating, well, we have to start looking at this different stuff. Now, personally, myself, it sure looks like we're going on that first scenario that I talked about, that, there's enough value feature sets that people can just come online and build specifically for the utility. And that's my hopes. That's what I believe will happen. But we have to be malleable. We have to see how this plays out and adjust from there. And we've seen this network can do that. Again, it was the idea, no programmability. Now we're getting light programmability on chain and also the EVM side chain. You saw with stablecoins, the DEX, AMMs, like this network has changed rapidly, and if we need to, it can be adjusted in the future. We're not locked in forever. This is just software, right? Like if we need to go a different way going forward, we can do so. But this is the perfect time to sit back and see things develop, because as long as XRP has the value it does, man, you can pay for, we can see quick updates as you have a lot faster than I thought. So things can be changed. Right now, again, I'm hopeful that, David's vision is correct in that regard. No incentive is the best incentive. And I think we just have to sit back and let it play out at this point in time. It sure is looking encouraging that we will see a lot of big players start building on the XRP ledger. And also, more importantly, people that are not big yet, but will grow to be so. Before we continue, if you're watching this video, make sure you subscribe for, nearly daily crypto news. Big help to the channel. Thank you so much. Coinbase Institutional says this: October sell-off, it wasn't the end of a cycle. It may have been the reset that we need. Excess leverage is flushed. Fundamentals remain intact, which is true. Things are looking bullish for crypto from a fundamental standpoint. Tom Lee talked about that. Fundamentals have kind of outrun the price here. Is there going to be a catch-up? Institutional players quietly rotated back in, so they're getting even more of a base in these different assets here. Smart money is clustering around EVM chains, RWAs, and yield-bearing protocols, pointing to selective re-risking, not retreat. And so that's a big deal. We will see after this shutdown, do we continue onwards and upwards, or is there more foundational problems here to the market? You really don't know until you see it play out. I'm hopeful myself. Now, Chad posted the following: Wisdom Tree's physical CoinDesk 20 spot ETF. So we look at the holdings here. Bitcoin's 31% of the fund, Ethereum 21%. But XRP, 19%. So every dollar that's put into this fund, 19 cents goes to XRP. You remember those very first ones we saw, it was like 2% XRP, 3% XRP. The amount, as Chad's saying here, the amount of XRP, it continues to grow and take up a bigger slice of the pie as we go forward. And I think that's going to happen, because if it's like 90% Bitcoin, most people say, well, I'll just buy Bitcoin, right? This is for people that want real exposure to the broader crypto market. Yeah, they want those ones at the top, Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they want exposure, real exposure to XRP, Solana, Cardano, and such other coins. When I look at this, really the only one I wish they'd pull out of there is Bitcoin Cash, but it is what it is. With funds like this, you're not going to like everything that's in there, but a product like this, a lot of investors are going to like, because with one fund, they can invest into pretty much the top 20 coins here. John Deaton giving us, for those linked to investors out there, some updates. What's interesting, I didn't realize this. I guess you're going to be able to pick which path you want. So it's not like winner takes all. That's the way we have to go. So if someone wants to go into the open fund, they can do that. And those assets will be in an open, in an ETF type product and trade on the open market. And for those people that would rather their holdings stay in a trust and wait for liquidity events, things like Ripple going live, things of that nature, they can do so here. We have always bet against the crowd, is what I said before. This Tim Ferriss put up, what's going to be, the most bullish crypto out of these ones? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and Solana. And Ethereum got the least bets. Out of these four, I bet you here in the near term, Ethereum does the best. Partially because if you bet against the crowd, you will do best. But secondarily, man, we see everything that's happening here with, Sony and Swift and all these people building on chain. That's not nothing. Even Ripple is leveraging Ethereum, and I think it's going to link up with the XRP Ledger, and they're going to be quite symbiotic. So I look for Ethereum out of those four to do really, really well. We'll see. The whole market's waiting. Lastly, I believe people are going to come to understand AI is an instrument that people play the same way as a synthesizer, the same way as a drum machine. My new EDM album is online there at Spotify. Give it a listen. Let me know what you think. No One to Blame is the best performer, so I'll link that down below. Give it a listen. Give me some feedback. Appreciate it. And we'll talk here again soon. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.
No one to blame. other side.